From a cloth doll Gud'di to Cinderella. Episode 1.
In the old part of the house, where discarded objects and forgotten memories breathed side by side, there stood a wooden chest. Its rusted clasps and faded copper engravings bore witness to its long, weary age. It seemed to whisper stories of a past peering through the fog of time. For the household, it was merely a heap of useless relics. For grandmother, it was a priceless treasure. For she knew that within it lay a kind of magic from the past, one that only her heart could recognize. In one corner of the chest slept an old cloth doll. From time to time, grandmother would sprinkle perfume on it, gently smooth its tangled threads as if the innocence of bygone eras still breathed within it. That was why, in her moments of solitude, she would often open the chest and speak to the doll as one speaks to a living companion. By chance, in those days, her granddaughter had a school function, and this time she had been assigned the role of Cinderella. It was a moment of great excitement for the child. The whole family buzzed with enthusiasm that their daughter would become Cinderella. But when grandmother heard the news, the little girl hidden deep within her stirred awake. Unusually, she opened the chest and introduced her granddaughter to that cloth doll which had been sleeping silently in darkness for years. As grandmother gently held the doll, fireflies lit up in her eyes. Smiling, she said, "This doll was stitched for me by my grandmother from leftover scraps of cloth." And then she began to tell stories of her childhood evenings, of her grandmother's labor, of stitches sewn with love, and of a time when even toys carried the fragrance of relationships. The child listened with rapt attention. But when she looked closely at the doll, she was astonished. Unruly thread-like hair, a cloth tapata, an incomplete face. And yet, in grandmother's eyes, this doll was no less than a princess. The next day, the child went to the market with her mother to buy a Cinderella costume and a Cinderella doll. The market was dazzling with life in glass showcases. Festivals of light sparkled, colorful Barbie dolls, Snow White, Spider-Man, and most striking of all, Cinderellas wrapped in golden gowns enchanted children's eyes. Spellbound, the child exclaimed, "Amy, look at this! She's exactly like a princess!" The mother smiled, asked the price, paid the money, and placed a shiny packet into her daughter's hands. At that very moment, the cloth doll lay asleep in its old chest at home. When they returned, grandmother was sitting in the veranda on an old chair reading Paki Roti, a moral book. The child innocently placed her new costume and Cinderella doll before her grandmother. The mother said, "These things are good for children. Times have changed. If we spend a little for a one-day function, what difference does it make? Our daughter is happy. She'll be Cinderella." Grandmother called us daddy, praised the doll and the clothes with a faint smile, but slightly shook her head and softly said, "Have times really changed, or have we sold our identity?" That sentence was meant for the daughter-in-law, and it silenced her. Grandmother's thoughts ran deeper. She knew that toys were no longer mere objects of play. They were cultural narratives. Slowly, these narratives planted seeds in children's minds. Once, children held wooden carts, cloth dolls, and clay utensils in their hands. Today, imported toys, pizza, burgers, and the culture of Kentucky have taken their place. Restlessly, the child climbed into her grandmother's lap and said, "Daddy, I wish I could become Cinderella too, so a prince would come and take me to a palace." Grandmother held her close and whispered softly, "My child, princes look good in stories. In real life, support is built by one's own arms. A woman does not find honor in the dream of a prince, but in her faith, her character, and in the dignity of motherhood." Yet grandmother also knew that cultural invasions from outside had altered the angles of young minds. The granddaughter asked innocently, "Daddy, why didn't I find dolls like yours, the cloth ones, anywhere in the market?" Grandmother smiled and replied, "Those priceless dolls aren't sold in markets for money, my child. They are earned through love. In those days, mother's hands held sewing machines of affection. From scraps of cloth, stories were born, Every stitch carried a prayer, every thread a caress. Such dolls cannot be priced. The child nodded, but her heart was still tangled in her glittering Cinderella. She exclaimed happily, "Daddy, look how lovely she is. Just like a real princess." To be continued. Your comments are awaited. And if you wish to offer suggestions on this piece, I would be grateful. Written by Mohammad Ifrahim, but